Kristen, Ben, Liz and Jonathan, the Beths. Thank you guys so much for welcoming me into your awesome studio to talk about your new album. By the time this interview is played, the album will be out. How do you feel about it coming out into the world?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready for people to listen to it. I feel like I've been talking about it a lot in the interviews and stuff. We've been getting everything ready, and it'll be nice when the thing that you've made is people can hear it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for everyone to hear the songs that haven't been released as singles. That might seem really obvious, but it's just, I think that they're all really good.
You know what? I have had the pleasure of listening to the album as well, and I think they're really good too. Like,
Thank you.
I really love the album. It's really awesome. You look like, maybe it's like the look on your face is like, do you think people might not think it's awesome?
I think that's up to people to decide. It's, people have, music is subjective, and I want for at least some people to connect with the album, but you can't guarantee anything until people have heard it.
Did you do a recorder solo for that song that didn't make the cut?
There is recorder on the cut of that song.
Oh, right, okay, I didn't.
Yeah.
My ear for recorder is like maybe not so good.
You've lost everything above that. Yeah. No, the recorder was a spur of the moment thing, because I got called in to play flute on that song.
Yes, and I heard the flute.
And the flute's in there. There's a lot
great.
of flute, but just at the end of that session, I can't remember if I was prompted to do it or not, but we ended up just throwing some recorder on there, and that became part of that song's live identity now.
Do you play recorder, Ben?
I play recorder a lot more proficiently than I did, when I recorded it, if I'm honest.
Hey, well, if you're not like getting better, then you're not really going anywhere.
Yeah, we have a rule for how we play recorder on the song, and that's that you can't practice outside of when we're performing the song.
Oh, I didn't know
really?
about that rule.
That sounds like a mean rule.
Yeah, it's just a safety net.
Okay.
Can't get too good.
Cool. And because did you nearly risk your life having to record that bell for that song as well?
Yeah, it was treacherous stuff. Yeah. I was up high, but there was a clear sort of safety order of operations, and it was, if I fall down, make sure I don't bring any of the expensive microphones with me.
I did wonder about that.
Yeah, the microphones were up high to record overhead drums.
Yeah, I guess they were sitting up above the drum kit for a sort of overhead capture of the drum kit, and it just made sense.
There's no way we could have moved the microphones down. The only way is for you to precariously stand up in a chair to record a tiny finger cymbal.
I'm happy to do what it takes. Sometimes you just, you've been recording for days and days and weeks in the same place, and you just need to up the ante a little bit.
Yeah. I do love the video for No Joy as well, and I want to ask you, Liz, how hard was it for you to just look miserable throughout it when the rest of your bandmates were fully smiling, looking like they were having a good
Liz
time?
is a good actor.
She really is.
Yeah.
Punches well above her.
I just felt like there was like a couple of
credentials.
moments where I almost felt like I could see you wanting to smile, but you didn't.
Oh, you should see the
Oh
outtakes.
yeah, I was corpsing a lot. These guys are very funny, and I was trying not to laugh a lot. But I do have a natural tendency towards a sourpuss face, so it wasn't too.
I've never heard you say that before.
I've heard her say it many times.
Yeah, so it wasn't that hard, but at points it was challenging.
Yeah, was it a nice way to make kind of a fun video about a song which my understanding was written about a pretty like hectic, not that great time in your life?
Yeah. So it was Francis's idea, who's the director. It was this kind of like kids show-esque atmosphere where everybody's kind of like happy and joyful to the point where it feels almost annoying, and having just kind of a deadpan experience of that, which I think when you are in the depths of like depression or like experiencing anhedonia, which is kind of what the song is about, where you kind of, it's not even that you're sad, but just that you're kind of not getting joy out of the things that you like, and it sometimes when you're in those depths, it almost feels like when people around you are experiencing joy, you kind of can't believe that that's true. And yeah, I mean, that song's kind of about when I've experienced that feeling both when I've been depressed and then also when I've been on like in the late stages of an SSRI and was like, it wasn't quite the right fit, and I was just kind of very flat.
How did you find writing songs for the album if you were taking an SSRI and you just, my understanding is sometimes you don't really feel anything, you don't feel good, but you don't feel bad.
I had like a mixed experience where when I first started taking it, it was really great because I was in a pretty big hole, and so being able to build kind of back a good routine and kind of find my feet again was really helpful. And then also I was starting therapy and stuff, and I was able to kind of like look at and examine things and write about things that I kind of normally would not like to look at, like things that I wouldn't like to think about. And so there was a lot of stuff that came out of that period that was really useful. But then, yeah, when I was later on during that period, I was trying to write songs and I was kind of struggling. And I think just because the kind of emotional compass that I kind of used to write was kind of wasn't calibrated or something.
Yeah.
I ended up weaning off it and kind of trying to find a new routine. But I'm sure I'll be back on it again. But yeah, it was kind of a mix of doing a lot of writing, actually prose writing while I was on it, and then finishing the songs off it. Yeah.
Because you wrote some of these on a typewriter too. Was it you who gave her a typewriter?
I did buy Liz a typewriter.
Yeah. How was the vibes writing on a typewriter? Did you need like a twink pen?
No twink. Well, that's the thing about the typewriter is that you can't erase.
You can't make mistakes.
You can make mistakes. I've learned how atrocious my the spelling is fine. But once you're okay with that, I don't know, it's good. You just have to purge, and you can't go backwards. You can't edit while you're doing it.
Yeah. Was there a reason why you bought her a typewriter?
It was a really good deal on Trade Me.
Oh, so you got it on Trade Me, not Marketplace?
It was Trade Me.
Marketplace.
This was I think pre like Marketplace being quite popular.
It was ages ago. It was years ago.
Yeah, it was quite a few years ago.
Found its use.
But I remember Liz telling me that that she, when she was writing, she didn't like the distraction of being on a computer, but she felt quite restricted by that she couldn't write with a pen as fast as thoughts were arriving in her brain. So I thought that, she had a typewriter she could use. But no, she's a very fast touch typist. So I just thought that maybe that would be a good tool for that job.
And a decent words per minute.
Yeah.
They must be good.
Jonathan, on previous albums you have obviously played the guitar, but you've been the engineer and the producer because you're very good at that. Did you relinquish any of that responsibility on this album?
I sort of tried to, and then these guys, bless them, said, we don't want you to, and we want to make it in our way again. And don't you want to do that as well? And so we slightly modified it. We had our dear friend Michael Howell come in and help me assistant engineer and assistant produce, and and that was great. And there's videos online of us making the record, and you can see his amazingly gentle, good-natured, amazing musicianship on show. But yeah, we have made all our albums in this space, and we knew things will be a bit different on this album, and we'd heard Liz's songs, and that there's no fast downstroke eighth notes on this album. So we knew we were sort of like outside of our comfort zone in some areas already. So I think the feeling was, don't change too many things all at once.
Yeah, when you talk about making the album your way and the way that you have, what does that process look like for you guys?
We need to play things as a group a lot. There's, I guess, the thing that we've become quite used to is going from what feels like a rehearsal situation into pushing record without really too much of a moment between them and too much pressure or something like that. But then a little bit of pressure is good. All of these rules are made to be broken.
Yeah. There's a lot of, the basics are still there of I write all the demos by myself in a room and then share them with everybody. There was a slight different system this time because we made everything as into a system. and we were kind of there was a gap between me kind of running the demos and then finishing the demos kind of 6 weeks later, once I'd figured out that they're doing what I want them to do, and then sharing them with everybody. And then there was a bit more time alone with the songs to kind of, which I think we would tweak next time and do kind of more stuff together. But yeah, it was, there's still, yeah, we kind of arrange as a group and work out where the song needs to go. Often the songs don't have like second halves or something, like there'll be verses and choruses. And
Yeah.
I think when you say, it's important to specify when you say system that there is a system, like for like when the song starts, and then there's like a, you know, you go in your spreadsheet and there's a tick box for like the first bit, and then you're like, you know, bass line complete, drum part complete, and you're sort of like adding them into the music session and compiling everything, and there's like every step of the process was
oh yeah, we're
So you actually had a spreadsheet,
we're a spreadsheets band.
yeah.
an Excel spreadsheet.
I make myself nauseous.
It's Google Sheets.
Oh,
There's a
Google
few,
Sheets.
there are more than a few spreadsheets.
And is that, when you talk about you changed the process a little bit for this album, was that the change you made, or have you always done that for all the albums, always had the things you
I
need
think
to
that
tick
was
off in the sheets?
I think that was the change to try and try and keep things on a timeline, you know, to try and like take some to keep the weight of the thing distributed evenly along the process, rather than having like a big lump to finish at the end and adding stress into that part of the process.
Yeah, but do you find, because you are such good friends and you've been making music and you've got this beautiful space, that sometimes you might just come in and just muck around and not actually get that much work done?
Oh, that's the rule. That is always.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've learned to just build time for that.
You have
Yeah.
to factor it in.
You have to factor in.
We have a firmness
muck around.
rating for the start time of the rehearsal. You know, it'll be like firm 10 o'clock, which means 10 to 10. And then maybe like a soft 10 is like people might start dribbling in around 10, but
Yeah.
probably nothing seriously underway until 11 or so. So
And we like to keep it soft whenever we can.
yeah, we like a soft time, and yeah, yeah, it's just factored in.
I think that works well. Like that means that like kind of nobody has to really be in charge. You know, I think there's an organic time when we decide it's time to start playing and time to start working, and I think that feels really good.
Yeah.
There is also something about like there's sort of like a principle of the Beths behind that, which is like that we always want everyone we work with, and especially ourselves, to always choose to do this. You know, like wake up every day and decide like, oh, I want to be in the Beths today. You know, and like if it's a soft 10, you can wake up in the morning and say to yourself, I want to be the best Beth today. I'm going to turn up at 10 a.m. or not.
Yeah, because you guys have been really busy lately. You've been touring a lot. You've been doing this album. So do sometimes you wake up and find it hard saying, I want to be the best Beth that I can be today?
Nah, it's so much fun. I think it's like the experience of sharing this music live is just unbelievable. Like the high of playing to a crowd of fans, and especially when the music is quite difficult and in a really good way, where it's impossible to play the perfect gig. You're always striving to just try and do the best version of the set that you can, and you never quite get it. There's always things to talk about and tweak, but it's, I don't know, I really like the way that we sort of debrief on those things. It's always very positive. It's never like, it's never, people don't get too down on themselves. It's always just like a nice discussion of abstract ideas of how we can improve the set, and I don't know, it just feels like a continual rewarding quest for striving for something that's always out of reach in a good way.
Yeah, I looked at the tour dates that you guys are about to embark on. That's crazy. Like, you basically play every single night from September to December. Do you guys have a bus that you sleep on? Like, what's the touring situation like?
Nights off. But
That's the old one.
yeah, we do a combination of van touring and bus touring. So
Yeah.
what's the difference?
It is a lot of days, but things have gotten a lot better. Like in the US especially, they're often quite big drives in between shows, and I'm still really just enjoying the comfort of being able to do that on a bus where you don't have to be conscious for the driving or do the driving like we would do for so many years. It's amazing to not have to, pack down after a show, drive to the hotel, unload everything because you don't want to leave it in the van overnight, and then, while someone else is checking in, get a few hours of sleep, and then get up to drive possibly 8 hours to the new city to sound check at 3 or 4 p.m. It starts, the days get really, really long. So, man, I'm going to feel so refreshed doing a single show every day with the bus.
I love
or
that.
someone else doing the driving. Yeah. That's where I'm at.
Are you going to bring back the blog?
I expect that the blog will return.
This is news. This is news for us.
Yeah, that's a scoop.
That's a scoop. We weren't sure because
Yeah, once we get back into it, I think I'll see what that looks like. I'm trying to figure out how to make it take up only a reasonable amount of my time.
Okay, would you like to give the name of it a shout out just so that people, you can really get that engagement up?
Yeah, if you're interested in keeping up with the band's breakfast and touring blog, you can visit www.breakfastandtravelupdates.com.
What about if someone would like to send you an email?
If you'd like to contact me via email, you can reach me at breakfastandtravelupdates@breakfastandtravelupdates.com.
And what about if people don't really want to write an email, but they still want to just see pictures of
If you'd like to see pictures of breakfast in a grid format, you can follow me on Instagram at breakfastandtravelupdates.
Maybe someone's got a suggestion on where you could get a good breakfast.
It is a great source. It is a great resource for me finding breakfasts. Yeah.
Okay.
I get a lot of people reaching out. With their local gems.
You can't really beat that local knowledge, can you?
That's right. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure though. Sometimes I don't want it. Sometimes I just don't want to eat a cooked breakfast.
Sometimes you're still full from dinner the night before.
Yeah. Sometimes I just maybe want to have muesli.
Yeah. It's amazing body of work, Ben. He's done 500. He had 500 blog posts on the most recent full New Zealand tour.
But also, on a more serious note, it must be nice for you guys to have that as like a little diary or memory of what the time was.
It's a huge justification for these swaths of time that we just disappear from, and it can become such a blur. Ben's documentation of it, as well as just maybe a reframing of the day through his lens, is memorable and enjoyable, and sort of honestly justifies this existence.
But I think it's important. It's important to state that the blog, it's not started as it's not a breakfast review blog. It's a way of. I thought it'd be interesting to show kind of what an average tour breakfast would be like over it's quite a large sample size, which we now have, and it's got the good and it's got the bad. But
never with judgment.
Yeah, that's right. It's just stating the facts.
So you guys were in LA when you were writing some of the songs for this album. Did that kind of influence the direction of the album or the songwriting process?
Yeah, we're everything's kind of sounds like Steely Dan now.
Santa Barbara, is that the home of those yacht guys?
Oh, that's where Ken
Mike
Loggins
McDonald.
was,
Heavily features on everything.
Can you guys please put out a yacht rock album? I feel like that'd be fantastic.
Working on it. I think Ben has to write it. We were just we were finishing a run. We played some shows at Coachella, and Jonathan and I, let's just stay on the West Coast and we'll write there instead of.
They call it just on the coast, I think.
On the coast, yeah. We're just on the coast. Just kidding. I never went to the beach once during that period of time. we were in East LA, and it was just nice to get into a habit, away from regular routine in life, which is something that is normally a good thing. But I guess when you're trying to just concentrate on one thing, it was good, and it was good to be in a place where everybody there is working on their thing, in kind of an industrious way. And I don't know, we've never lived in a different city. We've always lived in Tamaki Makaurau.
Yeah, we get lots of support there, and see movies and see comedy and lots of inputs. It's our
Got to feed the creative brain with stuff so that you can make stuff, I think.
Yeah. How many songs did you start with when you started the process for this album before you got it down to the 10 that feature on the album now?
We left LA, I had 23 demos, I think. So it was And then I wrote one more song when we were in New Zealand, which is Straight Line Was a Lie, which is the title track, which was only written once. It felt like we had kind of the other 9 or 10, and it was kind of coming together as a thing, as like a body of work. And I was kind of like, well, what is this body of work about? Because I knew I was going to have to talk about it in situations like this. But also, it's kind of like, it's funny looking at, because when you look at a body of work like that, you're kind of looking at your own life for the last kind of while and looking at it for meaning, which is something I've been doing anyway. And so that song kind of came out later. It's like I was kind of looking for meaning in the thing that I'd made, and that was kind of what came out. And it kind of like came out on the bus and just like sang it into my phone, and then made the demo. I think we played it a couple of days later.
Yeah, so how do you guys choose? Well, you had the 23 songs. Do you all sit down and vote? Is it like a democracy, or you just kind of play them and then work out what you want to put on the album?
How do we choose?
It's definitely not a democracy.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't know what to call it, but
I feel like, the culling experience was not something I really had much of a hand in. I think you guys maybe talked about that quite a bit yourselves.
the trouble is what we've learned over the years about these two angels is they will think that every song is perfect, and also that together we can do it and make it a great song, you know.
And that we should just have 23 songs on that album. No, that's...
So if you want cruelty, inward-looking cruelty, you know, you need to ask Liz and me for it, not these two guys.
I'm quite comfortable not being a part of that process. I find it easier to judge later on in the process when they're all finished.
Yeah, that's true. Well, because they can change a lot. I don't know. It was just a vibe. Like, I feel like there are some songs where you're like, obvious yes, obvious yes, obvious yes, and then there's these other ones that it's less clear, and then sometimes you start off thinking this one is the one, but then once you've arranged the song fully, it feels like another song kind of shines more.
And honestly, that's usually like 2 songs. Like there on a 10-song album, there'll be 8. Like, yes, I believe in this, and then there'll be a handful. And we jammed a few, you know, like we jammed at least kind of 5 or 6 songs for the last 2 spots, perhaps, on the album. I'm making up numbers, but it's sort of that much.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's usually then at that point, if you get it that close, then it's just the path of least resistance.
I think Jonathan has a great imagination for, you know, for hearing those songs at an early part of the process, and, you know, knowing what they're going to sound, or maybe not knowing what they're going to sound like, but you know, seeing their potential.
Yeah. And then how do you work out the order that they go in the album? Some people, you know,
We have a spreadsheet.
It was just over here.
but I love knowing about that, because some people want to make the album so that you can listen from start to finish, and it takes you on like a journey or whatever, which is what I felt listening to this album. I put it on and I went for a walk and I listened to the whole album, and I loved the way that the songs were put together. But some people just put out singles and then don't really think that people these days listen to an album from start to finish. So how do you guys work out the order that they go?
Start alphabetical, and then you try shortest to longest. And if that doesn't work,
Ascending key order, A, B, C, D.
Yeah. What did we do? We had
We printed them all out.
We wrote them all out and put them on big pieces of card so that we could look at them and rearrange them and rearrange them.
And then you have some constraints. Like we love vinyl as a format, and we sell a bit of vinyl, and so we knew the vinyl was important, and vinyl has some constraints to it, right? Like the inside tracks sound the worst. So if you can put your quietest songs on the inside tracks, then your whole album sounds better as a whole. And then that leads you to like, good constrained decision making, where you're like, well, Mother Pray For Me, this beautiful solo ballad, are we going to put it as the last song on the album, as many rock albums might do, or are we going to put it in the very middle of the album, which feels like a bit more of a
The end of side one.
a bit more of a big swing or something like that, end of side one. So so we decided to do that, and you kind of work the pieces around like that, you know.
what's a good starting song and what's a good finishing song?
100%.
It's a
And
great
then you
place
might
to
think to
start.
yourself, oh, okay, we've locked in about 4 positions on the album, and the rest of them, like, how many combinations can there possibly be? It's in the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Hey,
He made a spreadsheet. Every possible combination.
As a listener and a fan, the order of the songs that you settled on, I really appreciated it.
Yeah, I feel like the
It was
order
like
that
a
we...
nice little break in the middle, and you have a little cry about your mum, and then it picks back up about the beauty of life, and then it like gets a bit harder, and then it like
Yeah.
you know.
I would say that the
Ramps
order
up towards
Yeah.
that the album settled in was inevitable. I think it's the only possible order.
I love that. I
Oh,
do
it's
now go
nice.
through it in my head in order when I'm trying to work out what song I've forgotten for my pedal settings or something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Ramps up towards the end is cool though.
That's what I
Nothing
love.
worse than when an album just trails off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to put your best song last.
We're all album people, like, so I don't know what it's like to make an album for people who don't like albums. I've never been in your brain before, you know. Like, I'll sometimes I'll put on a song, but usually I'm like, I'm gonna put some music on, and I'll just put on an album because then I don't have to make another decision for 45 minutes. And it's like, yeah, if I want to listen to an artist, I go, you know, I'm like, cool, tell me a story. Like,
You've also talked about how, you know, in life, kind of maintenance is the goal and sometimes not progress. Has being open to that made things just feel a little bit easier?
it's just kind of a shift of mindset or something. Yeah, just from this period of the last few years, which has been, it got kind of dark and with mental health stuff and physical health stuff, and then being like, I'm coming out of that, you're like, it's great, things are getting better, things will just keep getting better, and then I'll be better, I'm just going to be better. And then it turns out that the journey of life is sometimes it's cyclical, and sometimes you go what feels like backwards, but everything is still kind of moving through whatever you're moving through, and you do just have to start to maintain things and find the meaning in that maintenance, because maintaining things is what you do for things that you want to keep.
Before, when we were in here, there's like, so you guys are just constantly like playing with the instruments, and old mate over there, what was that?
This is an automaton, which is a Japanese toy instrument, which Jono got me in LA while I was writing.
Has it made it on the album?
It's so nearly made it on the album.
We really tried, but
Liz was like ripping this like incredible. It was on No Joy, wasn't it?
It was on No Joy,
that, but we couldn't get a microphone up in time, and then she like played all this incredible stuff at like while she was practicing, and then she just kind of like lost the flow of it.
The moment was over.
Yeah.
I couldn't get him to
Do
sing
you want to try
again.
and get it back?
I can't.
Well, there's a microphone. It's too late now, though.
I love that though. Do you guys find, because you are so relaxed when you're in here and you're having a great time, that sometimes you do improvise stuff like that on the songs?
I think
like
it's-
your cool recorder on No Joy?
Yeah, I think that's maybe the secret sauce is like the ability to spend a lot of time in one space, getting extremely comfortable, but also being able to have it being recorded kind of at all times is an incredible luxury. I think like being able to listen back and reflect on stuff a lot means that you just get really comfortable in the recording studio. And yeah, I think that does open up like just a bit more headspace to take risks when the mics are turned on, you know, which it can be so scary when you work up to like recording in a very sterile, unfamiliar studio that you haven't spent any time in. There can be a lot of like head games, and it's like maybe you're playing your part and you hear something in your head and you're like second guess yourself, and then it's just the whole thing's worse. But luckily, very luckily, we don't have so much of that here. I think it's comfortable with risk taking on the clock.
Yeah, on the risk taking on the clock is good, eh? Because we're not a great band for jamming, like spontaneous, like let's have a jam.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll
But,
become
you know,
a jazz band. It comes for every band, and the time will come for us.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time out to have a chat and record it all with me today about the new album. I'm really excited for everybody else to hear it. What do you guys hope people take away from this album?
Oh, yeah.
Big, tough question just to wrap it up.
there's a humble rock band out there, just acknowledging that you know, it's life's maintenance. It's not always getting better.
Yeah, I hope that that's not a depressing message. I hope that it's in a way, like a comforting message, that if that is what you feel, you are not alone.
It's like, yeah, it's maybe it's about maintenance, but it's also incredibly celebratory, and I think, yeah, it's beautiful.
The best. Thank you guys so much. Good luck on tour.
Thanks.
Thanks
so much.
Sarah.
Thanks, Karen.